Good afternoon, good morning, and a good day to everyone. Thank you very much for coming together for some holiday cheer and music at a time when COVID has made it impossible to meet in the atrium of the World Bank Group building. Today, on December 17th, we are celebrating Beethoven's 25th birthday. Beethoven and his music have transcended his time, as today's performance demonstrates. He is a story of triumph and tragedy, a personality, an icon, and humanist. What I see in his music is a story of inward heroism, of a personal triumph over one's own fate and one's own demons. First, to overcome his rather social low status at birth through hard work and determination. And second, when he has realized that he is doomed to lose his most precious faculty, his hearing. It is not a stretch to find his later music as, among other things, an image of Beethoven's own defiance of fate. It is at the same time the story of everyone's struggle with what life hands us. It recalls one of Beethoven's most famous quotes: "I will seize fate by the throat. I shall certainly never hold it. It shall certainly never wholly overcome me." We thought we could all use some hope and cheer to celebrate before the holidays and prepare for a brighter new year. Today, young and inspiring artists have come together from Minneapolis, Bolivia, Brazil, Portugal, and Bonn to honor Beethoven and show us how, even without the possibility of performing in person, we can still come together despite the challenges presented by the pandemic. Before we begin, let me thank Angela Kant, Marcelo Jordan, Juliana Biondo, Gregory Blackman, Adam Hennessy, Saad Ali, my team, and especially Silke Heuser and Jana Koto for making this event possible. I would also like to extend a very warm welcome to our performers and their teachers, who are sharing their talents today. Marcelo will be introducing them later, and a special thank to him because it was his idea in March of this year that started the preparation for this great event. Let me now give the floor to Angela Kant, Managing Director, Chief Financial Officer at the World Bank Group. In this role, she is responsible for financial and risk management at the World Bank Group, reporting to the President. Angela, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nikolai. I'm very pleased to join you and other colleagues and, of course, the very talented musicians in this warm gathering as we approach the end of the year holidays. Today, on the 250th anniversary of Beethoven's birth, we are celebrating not only his enormous contributions to music, but also the resilience of human spirit. As Nikolai, you mentioned, Beethoven composed many of his celebrated works after he lost his power of hearing. Around the time he finished his Second Symphony, Beethoven was beginning to notice that he was losing his hearing. Because of it, Beethoven withdrew from conducting and performing and chose instead to focus on his compositions. This made him feel lonely and isolated, as his journals reveal. It was a rough time for him, and he wrote of his miserable and unhappy situation. And yet, what is pretty interesting to note is how energetic and lively Beethoven's Second Symphony is, especially its finale. Chicago Symphony Orchestra annotator Philip Huscher declared it has a nose-thumping sense of humor, and Hector Berlioz wrote, "It was smiling throughout." Very apt words indeed. Beethoven managed through his music to triumph over adversity and find solace even when he was in a dark place. There are lessons to be learned by all of us from Beethoven's life as we struggle through the challenges of facing the new realities of COVID-19. The pandemic has just not impacted health, livelihoods, and economies. It has impacted our daily lives and routines. Unfortunately, crises do not affect everyone equally. Challenges that are manageable for some are hitting others very hard, leaving many feeling more vulnerable, frustrated, and unsafe. COVID-19 has started as a health crisis, but has expanded into a crisis of societal division with a big impact on inequality. But while the pandemic has exacerbated inequalities, music can bring joy and enlightenment to everyone, regardless of their wealth or income. The wonderful thing about music is that it has no barriers, it knows no boundaries. The sad truth is that the pandemic too has the same attribute. And over the past few months, it has been the World Bank Group's endeavor to support all client countries, particularly the most poor and vulnerable, in their fight against the pandemic. We understand that we are in this together and that no one can win alone. Although COVID-19 has created many challenges for musicians and performers, it has also created unexpected opportunities to share and enjoy music on virtual platforms like this by bringing together people from diverse locations and backgrounds. I'm also very happy to see the emphasis on youth and gender in the lineup of musicians today, two focus areas which are very close to our hearts in the World Bank. So let me close by wishing you all happy holidays. Congratulations for keeping your spirits up and finding this opportunity to celebrate one of the most celebrated and greatest musicians of all times. Thank you, Nikolai, for inviting me to this event. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Nikolai, and thank you very much, Anjula, for this introduction. I think this is a very good way to get us started and to provide a little bit of inspiration for this event. I hope this event is going to be something to celebrate, definitely, especially after this rough year for most people. And it's going to help us bring to a close this year on a good note and with a lot of hope for the next year. I also want to thank the musicians who have agreed to participate in this event. We have been able to put together a very exciting program. And it's a program that not only tries to offer you a musical experience, by bringing you Beethoven, but also at the same time tries to showcase how music can also be an instrument for social impact. So we're going to have in the program first a project called Commusication, and this project is based on a framework called El Sistema that was born in Venezuela, and which is aiming to empower individuals through music education and the power of music. Then we're going to hear from a group of Bolivian musicians who have a very excellent initiative called Music to Breathe. I will let them explain a little bit more about Music to Breathe and what it means for so many people. They have been able to reach probably more than 5,000 people so far as of today. And then we're going to hear from Leah in Germany, as well as Anke Pan. So Leah and Anke have recorded movement from Beethoven, a sonata. So as Nikolai pointed out at the beginning, this is a very international concert. I think it's only possible thanks to the technology that we now have. And it's probably one of the good things of the pandemic. If we want to look at the bright side, we were thinking of doing something in person at the World Bank Atrium, but it turns out that this is probably even more interesting because we now have the possibility to hear at the same time simultaneously, not only to listen to the concert from different parts of the world, but also to have concerts, to have artists and performers from different parts of the world. So with that, I don't want to spend too much time. I want to get right into the program. So I will invite Zara, but before I invite Zara and Carrie to make an introduction of Communication to you, I want to suggest that you look at the top right-hand side of your screen and try to activate speaker mode, active speaker mode on your screens, and that will help you to enjoy more this performance. So with that, Sarah.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everyone. Thank you, Marcelo, for the introduction. My name is Sarah Zanussi, and I am the proud founder and executive director of Communication. Now, you'll notice if you see our logo that music is capitalized, and that's because we really try to use music as a tool and a language to do 5 things, which music stands for. Imagine possibilities, understand yourself, sing your song, inspire your community, and create harmony. And our mission is to empower urban youth with skills for success through music, service, and community. And that's because we believe every youth, regardless of their background, deserves access to an inclusive and supportive community that empowers them to imagine possibilities to their potential and transform their world through music. And so the outcomes we're really focused on are building confidence, building leadership skills, building skills that will help them in school and beyond. And so these are the various guiding principles of the El Sistema philosophy. The intensity, of course, is a little bit different in the Zoom world, but we really strive to work with youth who traditionally wouldn't have access to music education. And so that includes transportation, breaking down costs. We are Pay What You Can program, making sure that youth have access to technology, that kind of thing. Something that you won't notice today, and Carrie will talk more about this, but in a non-Zoom world, we are very ensemble-based. Given the constraints of technology, we couldn't do that today. So we're really working as a team to achieve the musical goal of creating beauty. The nuclear environment means we go into the community of the people we're serving. So we're not expecting them to come to us. We're really trying to meet them where they're at. And again, trying to provide the needs that they have, including homework help, meals, transportation access, that kind of thing. Excellence. I hope you find today that we are striving for a high level of musical achievement. And community is probably the most important thing at the core of what we do, especially right now in these times of isolation. The continuum just means that it's not a one semester program. We start with some youth in second grade and see them all the way through high school. So we've had some youth that have been with us for all 7 years that we've existed. And then we have some youth who have just joined us this year, and we hope that they continue with us. But the option is there to be with us that whole time. And like I said at the beginning, music is really being used as the tool for social change. So without further ado, I will turn it over to our music director, Carrie Shunskis, who will introduce the performers. Carrie?
Thank you, Sarah. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here with you today. Communication, as Sarah said, is an ensemble-based program that fosters skills such as teamwork, critical listening, and empathy. Today, you will see just a sneak preview of our virtual choir project in celebration of Beethoven's birthday, which will feature 2 of our soloists, Mia and Olive, accompanied by musicians from the Minnesota Orchestra. We are really excited to send you our performance choir's virtual recording of Ode to Joy in the coming weeks. But today, here is a sample of the music that we make at Communication. Dankeschön.
Thank you. I would like to encourage you to express your appreciation through the chat. This is being recorded, by the way, so something I wanted to mention as well is that you will be able to find this later on the website. This is going to be advertised. But yes, please feel free to communicate and share your views through the chat. This is probably part of the adaptation that we now have to go through in this new in these new times. So thank you so much, Sarah, Carrie, and thank you to the communication team. This was really, really special, really good. And I encourage everyone to look into what these type of projects mean, especially those that are based on El Sistema. El Sistema is a worldwide framework that is being applied in many different countries. So now let me move on to the next item on the agenda. So now we have Music to Breathe. Music to Breathe is a project that was originated in South America by a group of Bolivian musicians, as well as Bruno from Brazil. So I will let them introduce themselves, but I think this is a very interesting and inspiring initiative. So I hope you enjoy learning about this initiative, as well as getting to know the artists behind it. So Bruno and Camila, I invite you now to take over from here.
Hello, I am Camila Barrientos. I am from Bolivia, but I'm talking to you from Sao Paulo, Brazil, where I am the principal clarinet player at the Teatro Municipal de Sao Paulo, which is the opera house.
And I am Bruno Lorenzetto, trumpet player at the São Paulo State Symphony Orchestra. I was born in Brazil. Half of my heart is Bolivian, so I consider myself also Bolivian. It's a pleasure to be here with you. We are co-founders of the Bolivian Chamber Music Society.
Yes, and we're just so happy to be here. It is an honor for us to celebrate Beethoven's 250th anniversary with the World Bank and all of you today on communication and so many wonderful musicians. We think now more than ever it's important to remember Beethoven's life and works, but also his ideals of unity and fraternity. In August, we launched a project in Bolivia called Música para Respirar 24/7 or Music to Breathe 24/7. In this project, we have a team of 20 musicians available 24 hours a day for a week, every first week of the month. And we initially launched this as a response, a musical response to the crisis that we're living. And we have had such a big impact. Since we launched the project, as Marcelo was mentioning, we have reached over 5,500 listeners. Many of these are COVID patients, healthcare personnel, people that are in quarantine in their homes, and many children at schools, at hospitals. So we have had a really great impact in this activity, and it's been especially meaningful for us coming from the classical music world to be able to bring music closer to people in a time where we think it's elemental to have this type of communication.
Well, born in a time of adversity and crisis, since we are celebrating Beethoven's 250th birthday, Music to Breathe 24/7, and of course 24/7 because it works. Musicians are available to perform 24 hours for 7 days, in a way of showing that we are available for people. Music's available to anyone at any time during this time of crisis. We share the same values and views as Beethoven's ideas, and also the World Bank mission. Now we want to show you a brief video of some of the experience. This is going to be a 3-minute video, but it will show the experience of thousands and thousands of concerts, personal concerts, that had very emotional impact, not only in the audience members, and if you may call, or patients you may call, but also in the artists who were part of it. Mr. Nikolai, you couldn't have a personal concert at the atrium of the World Bank this year, but Música para Respirar performed live concerts also in the air traffic control tower in La Paz, in El Alto, Bolivia, in hospitals, in kitchens, living rooms, in the streets of La Paz, in more than 45 countries around the world, in a very personal connection. So I would like now to show you this video, so you have an idea of how the impact of this project was for the artists and for the audience. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll be back with a live performance of 2 of the Bolivian musicians.
Vamos a llamar ahora a los chicos del hogar, a ver qué nos dicen. Estamos llamando. Hola. Buenas tardes. Hola niños. Paola, ¿no? Sí, mi nombre es Paola, mucho gusto. Con ustedes la música se llama Viento.
Now, since we believe in classical music to be performed live and having human connections, we will bring to this concert, to this new stage that we've been living in for the last few months, Claudia and Paola Machicado. They are two of the incredibly talented Bolivian musicians. They were students at our project years ago, and they have been developing incredible careers. So I would like them to introduce themselves, Ana Claudia Machicado and Paola Machicado. They will perform for you now. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. I am very happy for share this moment with all, celebrating this birthday and Beethoven. My name is Claudia Machicado Torres. I am from Bolivia. I'm double bass player, and I am member for La Sociedad Boliviana de Música de Cámara. And she's my twin. Hi, good afternoon, good night to everyone present. It's a pleasure to hear. I am Paola Machicado, percussionist, and I am from Bolivia, Cochabamba. Now Claudia and I are living in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I am very happy because this year was fabulous for creating music to read. And yes, let's play, Claudia. Yeah. Now we play the number 14, the piano sonata, maybe the most famous pieces of Beethoven. And we play one adaptation for our instruments, and I play the double bass and Paola the vibraphone. And is the first movement of the sonata in C sharp minor of Beethoven.
Thank you so much, Claudia and Paul. I just have to tell everybody that in La Sociedad Boliviana de Música de Cámara, we have a wonderful team of musicians of the highest level that are putting themselves in 12-hour turns to provide music in a time where many of the biggest arts organizations are paralyzed. We have gotten off the stage, gotten on the phone, and brought music closer to people. Thank you very much for your comments. This is a project that comes from the heart, and we very much believe in empathy. I think Communication was talking about this, and it's such a wonderful time to connect, to find new ways to connect. So this was our way of connecting. To end our section of this event, where we're gonna share a video of another member of us. As Marcelo was saying, we are now able to connect, and we are diaspora Bolivians playing for the world. And the next person you're going to hear is another co-founder of this organization. It's Sergio Escalera, a fantastic Bolivian pianist that lives in Portugal, and he sent a video especially for today, and I hope you enjoy it. It's been a pleasure to be here, and I want to thank Marcelo, Silke, Nikolai, and Shula, everybody here for this opportunity to play for you. Thank you.
Hola, mi nombre es Sergio Escalera, soy pianista de Bolivia y les voy a interpretar el primer movimiento de la sonata Opus 109 de Ludwig van Beethoven, conmemorando el aniversario de su nacimiento, número 250 este año. Les agradezco mucho el escucharme y el poder brindarnos todo el apoyo que les sea posible.
Let's take a few seconds to recognize that through some virtual clapping, everyone. And in the meantime, Saad, if you could put up the slide with their GoFundMe link, so they can know where people who are interested in supporting this initiative, they can know where to go. So now let's move on to the last but by no means least item on the agenda. So I'd like to invite now Leah to jump into the screen and tell us a little bit about her motivation to play Beethoven, and to also walk us through the pieces that she's going to present to us today. Leah, if you are there, please take over.
Hello, everyone from Germany today. It's really a pleasure for us to play for you tonight. And as Marcelo said, I'm a violinist from Germany and studying 2 master's degree, one in music and the other in management. Usually I play concerts as a soloist or in duo, both in Germany and in whole Europe. Whenever I can, I try to use my stage and the music I play to draw attention to world problems like the climate crisis, environmental protection, or discrimination, whether because of the religion, the skin color, or the gender. This year with the pandemic was a difficult time, I guess, for most of us. Here in Germany, we are in a lockdown in the music business for almost a year now, except a handful of concerts in the summer. It should have been the year of Ludwig van Beethoven's birthday, with many concerts dedicated to him. He was baptized exactly today, on the 17th of December, 1770. We prepared for you, me and my piano partner Anke, the first movement of his 7th violin sonata, which he wrote probably in the most difficult time of his life. It was the time when he realized he would be completely deaf soon. It's written in C minor, the same key like his 5th symphony, which you probably know. I just play the bar, so you will directly recognize the melody. So this symphony is written nearly in the same time as the sonata we prepared for you today. It's the C minor, and this key is known as the destiny key in connection with Beethoven. He was a really temperamental human and known as someone who could change his mood during a few seconds from happy to furious. I will play now a few bars live for you just to show you the change of mood in this sonata as well. I chose some bars which probably shows the best this really mood change also in the sonata. So this is like quite typical for Beethoven, that he starts with a really nicely melody and suddenly it goes into something really strong. And you will hear a couple of similar moments in our recording, and we hope you're going to have fun listening to the 2 pieces we prepared. And before we are going to play our second piece, I want to introduce you my piano partner.
Hello everyone, my name is Anke Pan. I am a concert pianist and I've known Leah for quite a while already, and we're very happy to play for you tonight. And we have a second piece for you, a very different one than the Beethoven you just heard, and Leah's going to tell you a little bit more about it.
It's from the Italian composer Vittorio Monti, and he wrote it at the beginning of the 20th century. And it's, how Anke already said, it's a complete different character, and it's actually a czardas. And Anke, did you know czardas is in English means pub?
Well, no, I didn't. This is a very famous piece. I've heard the title before, but I never connected anything to it, actually. I just accepted the name.
So it means pub, and actually the Hungarian people invented this piece because they were drinking. Of course, they like to drink in the pub, and after they were going to dance, and this folk dance was the czardas then. And Vittorio Monti took the melody and the rhythm from the czardas and he wrote down, and it's probably his most famous piece. So we hope you're going to enjoy this piece in this quite difficult time we are all going through, and we are enjoying to play it for you tonight.
let's give it up virtually, electronically, to Leah and Anke. Thank you so much. That was amazing. And before we conclude, I think we have one additional video from the kids at Communication. So we can probably close off this wonderful event with this video. So Sad, if you could please put it up. And then I personally want to thank Nikolai's office, Silke, Juliana as well for all their help to make this possible. And a special thanks to all the musicians that participated. I think it's been really refreshing. It has provided us with a lot of hope for the next year. So thank you, everybody. Stay healthy, and I wish you all the best for the end of the year and for the next year.
It's kind of like a family. I've been here for a while, and it's kind of been fun getting to see all of the new people coming and all of the graduating people leaving. And so it's kind of like a big community, because I know that like once people leave, like they're not like gone forever, like they're still here because they were always a part of Communication, and they still will be, just like all of the new people that are coming and that are joining and getting to know all of the older students.
I think of a musical community that's full of opportunity, and I feel like it's really educational for me, and it's educational in a fun way, I would say.
Communication is a fun, loving community with people that are so nice and fun and loving. I think it's just joyful.
I think I'm more confident. I still talk really quietly most of the time, but I think it's kind of helped me like be louder, especially when singing, because I used to sing like really quietly and no one could ever hear me. And I think I've also made a lot more friends. Like I'm learning to be more social, because I'm not very social, but I think I'm learning how to do that.
I think that when I started Communication, I wasn't confident, but when I went through with it, I started getting used to it, and I felt more confident in myself and my singing abilities, and I started to get used to having all these people, especially in this pandemic.